So this is my video, third attempt at trying to film this because me and it are not getting along. This is my hobby. I do resin. As you can tell, it's kind of messy. So with resin, you got to do a 1-to-1. So this is part B. This is part A. It usually takes about 24 to 72 hours. This right here is a mold for a keychain for Harry Potter that I am working on. It is a Gryffindor mold, and it's got gold and like a copper instead of the really red. This is one of the, right here, one of the remembrance ones, but I'm going to do this one. My friend's got a Cricut machine, so they let me borrow it, and it's going to say Gryffindor right here. I'm getting ready to finish this one, so we are going to try and set up a little tripod, and I'm going to show you how I do all this. So here we go. So this one's just going to add more gold to the top of it, to the mold. And you just got to take your time. Now with resin, so people are like, oh, you got air bubbles. Yeah, we got air bubbles. We'll fix that in a little bit. With fire. Fire fixes everything with resin. It's weird, it just does. So I'm just going to add bits of resin here. Just kind of let it do its thing, mix it in. Let it be its own boss today. And sometimes that's just how it goes. It doesn't want to do what we really want it to do, except for go into the mold and just flow wherever in the mold. So that one's going to be an interesting looking football. I'm using more gold, so I added more gold pigment to here, and then I'll just mix that up because I've got a mermaid, I've got other keychains I got to do. Pigments, there's a couple different ways you can do the pigments. You can paint them onto the mold with just dry painting with a brush and the pigment. I am not too keen on that idea. I like to mix them in. One of my main things that I do is I make a type of shot glass. So this is my mold for my shot glass. I will also, but I'm using it right now to kind of prop up while I'm doing this. So I gotta add a little bit more of the copper. Hopefully I will not add too much of this pigment. These pigments are actually very expensive and come in only 3 grams a piece. So I'm going, for the mermaid tail, I'm only going to add a little bit of copper to the bottom of this mold coming up. And do like a little, make it part of the mermaid tail. So you can do alcohol inks. Those are also really interesting if you want to make a really cool looking like geode or just different whimsical artsy type things. So now I'm going to move this mold right here closer, and I'm just going to kind of scoop it into the tail because I only want it to go to this part, and if I scoop it fast enough, hopefully it'll stay there a little bit, but I doubt it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of string it in like so. Now we're going to take this one like so, going to add to the mermaid tail with the gold like so. Let it mix in, do its thing, so it'll fill and kind of backfill down in until it comes up to the lip of the mold, which is what I like. So here's what we just did right here with the mermaid. So it was filled up to this little indent, but now it's spread down. Okay, so this mold, it takes about 24 to 72 hours to fully cure and set up, and then it's really hard. I'm about to show you some examples of my shot glass mold, which is this one right here, which is what I've become kind of known for. So these will take, I got 40 minutes of work time before they start really fully setting up. So this is one of mine. I call this the timekeeper or the gears shot glass. These are about 3 inches tall, 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. And if you can tell, really hard, hand wash only. So I have some different ones that I've done. Now this is with the glitter added in first, or actually last, and stirred in. This is when I add glitter in first and let it just go its own way, and it starts floating up to the top of the mold. Then a little citrusy one. So all these are really cool, and I waited for this part to cure, and then I added this mixture to it. So that is where we are at right now with the gold and everything. I'm going to show you how we take out air bubbles with this. So this is how we get rid of air bubbles. You light the fire, go along the mold, make sure all the bubbles, no more bubbles, all the bubbles go away. And like this one has a bunch of little bubbles. See that? We're about to make them go away. And bubbles are gone. So this is how we just basically do it. You play with fire, you get to play with pigments, you get to make a lot of pretty cool looking things. And I just let some pigment sit in this one, so it's going to have like some gold looking flecks. I thought that would look pretty cool. So that is just one of my hobbies. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation. And I can't wait to share more if you have questions.